Hello. So, I've recently been given some time off of work. This happens in construction, it gets slow at times. In the past, I would have dug into a show or a story or sat around and gotten fat for months. But I haven't had time off of work like this for about 3 years. And in that 3 years, a lot in me has changed. So my plan is to do at least one of these a day while I'm laid off. Hopefully more. I mean, that's like the bare minimum I would like to do. This is my work. This is my side job. And when the main job gets slow, the side work is what picks you up, right? A little different for me because this side work can't be done in order to get paid. I can't talk to you with the idea of I need likes, I need shares, I need followers, I need all of this thing to drive me because I need to be saved from my monetary existence. It can't be about that. So I have to focus on the work. What is my work? What is it that I'm doing when I'm talking to you people? What is it I'm trying to accomplish? Well, I have two goals. What I consider the work is defining consciousness for you so that you understand how it is that you function, how it is that your mind is grown. And secondary to that is my dreaming. When I work, I am working on defining consciousness so that you can understand how you work. When I dream, I'm dreaming about the world we need to build in order to save or just stop what it is that we're doing right now on this planet. This video today isn't about my dream, though. It's not about energy generation or any of that. This video in particular is to explain to you, because I have some new followers, explain to you who it is talking to you and why in the hell am I doing that? So, the work is on defining consciousness and explaining mind. The definition of consciousness is an organic process, mimetically driven or mimetically fueled, leading to mind. Mind is the current state of consciousness right now. So nobody's asking me to do this, so why am I doing this? Why do I think it's me that should do something like this? First of all, I don't think it's me. I think in doing this work, you have to do a lot of work on ego. And one of the things you realize when you do work like this is that it is not possible for my mind to be absolutely unique. If connections are being made by me, then connections are being made. Not just by me, but there are a lot of human minds in this world. A lot of human minds are affected by the same mimetics that I'm affected by. The idea that, let's say the definition of consciousness, the idea that that is mine is false. First off, actually false, because that is Richard Dawkins. How he explained his discovery does not negate the fact that it is his discovery. How he explained his discovery does not negate the fact that his discovery weighed very heavily on my mind for all of my years of uselessness. I am not unique. You are not unique. The connections, if I am able to make a connection inside your mind, that doesn't make you unique. It would say something about that doesn't matter. If a connection can be made in your mind a connection can be made in any mind. If a switch exists in one, it exists in others. The path to that switch is the only thing that differs. So when I am defining consciousness, understand that I'm coming from a position of understanding. I know how it works. I share how it works so that you can understand and you can see the things as they happen. So let me give you an example. I'm trying to define who I am and what I'm doing. So when I was young, I was thoroughly convinced that there was nothing redeemable in me. The teaching is that there's nothing redeemable in any of us. But in your own private narratizations, you understand that if there's nothing redeemable in me is a lot more important to a lot of us than there's nothing redeemable in anybody else. When you have that looming, when you have that meme, see, the idea that we are evil, irredeemably so, is a meme. If I repeat that in my mind, in my consciousness, it affects the next memes that come at me. It affects my choices. So here's a meme. I am irredeemably evil. I repeat that in my consciousness. And I, in reflection, can look back and see how that meme has colored everything that grew after it. See, when I first started doing this, 3 years ago or so, I had a sort of change in my mind. And when I tried to express the things that I suddenly understood, it all came out in completely unexplainable ways. When I see consciousness, it's not simply what I'm explaining to you, because I had to take what I saw then and break it down into its most simple components so that I could start at the simple and explain them to get them up to things like primary memes. And that doesn't matter. I don't want to go back to talking about bubbles. Because when I saw the construct of consciousness, of mind, the only way I could explain it back then was via bubbles. And that video is long gone, so it's impossible to refer you to that. So in order to explain it to you, I'm going to explain it by using my example, that one of my primary memes, one of the things I repeated most often in my life, was the idea, the meme, the concept that I am irrevocably, irredeemably evil. For me, it showed itself in two ways, how it repeated in my life. When I was younger, it showed itself in rebellion. My absolute striving to refute the idea that that is what I am, that is all I can be. My rebellion would say that, well, if that's it, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do what I want, when I want, how I want. But the protector in me, because in reflection I understand a lot of the choices I've made in my life, and many of them are because I consider myself a protector. When not in rebellion, it led to isolation. I would isolate myself because protection for others was keeping that irrevocably evil being that is me away from them. I'm not saying this for sympathy. I'm saying this so you can understand how these memes repeat in your consciousness, how they color everything that comes to you. If I believe myself to be irrevocably, irredeemably evil, then the concept that another person loves me doesn't really fit with that. If I believe in that meme that I am evil, if I'm repeating it, everything that comes my way is colored by it. Because I just let it sit there and control me, I was being driven by it. I was not being fueled by it. Maybe in rebellion you could make an argument for that. But when all it did was stop me from growing, from learning, from interacting, I am being driven. I am not being fueled. Organic process, mimetically driven, as I am demonstrating, not mimetically fueled, as I want to demonstrate now. The natural, organic reversal of this problem, of this meme, would be a realization that I am not irrevocably evil. But that's not really how it goes. It seems like that should be a switch. It seems like if I could flip that switch in you, if you have the same problem I've had, and I could just flip that for you, it seems like that would be helping you. The problem with that is ego. Without some kind of understanding, some kind of deeper thinking on the subject, just a simple reversal can turn you into a person that, well, I was wrong. I have a lot of catching up to do. Well, damn the person that taught me that, because if they hadn't, I could have been this. See how they're both ego? I should have had a better life if they hadn't done that to me. That is deserve. And I've talked before about how deserve is the way ego thrives in an environment of fear. If I tell you, if I say in my consciousness, in my mind, that was wrong, look what that did to my life, I should be so much better off because that shouldn't have happened. That is deserve. I am thinking in my mind, I deserve. It does two things. It gives me an excuse for not being what it is I expect myself to have been. And it's a scapegoat because it takes away any responsibility for the memes you attached to it while you were growing your consciousness. All the things that I said could not be true because I am evil were my choices. I allowed that to run rampant over my life. I strongly suspect that in this regard, the Christian faith is right. In that, if that is going to be a problem, whether it's taught to you or not, the only way out of that is external redemption. For the Christians, that is the blood sacrifice of Jesus on the cross. If that blood sacrifice is the whole point to what happened there, then maybe you're right. Maybe. But as I've discussed, that wasn't the whole point of what he did there. I don't want to get off. I want to try and make these videos a little bit shorter because I tend to get a little bit long-winded. But I've left something up in the air that I should resolve here, at least minimally. The point wasn't the blood sacrifice. The blood sacrifice was the mimetic growth our species required in order to get us closer to a productive state of mind. God didn't need to take up and set us apart a specific group of human beings to make an example of. It is the way he chose to do things. And the blood sacrifice of those animals wasn't the point. It was the thing in our minds that was being rearranged in order to understand the blood sacrifice that happened on the cross. But they are right. That belief system is correct in that to sort out this problem without making it a case for ego to thrive has to be done by an external source. Our minds grow better with an external source. There are less traps, less pitfalls, less complications when it is external to us. I think that was the point. Salvation couldn't come through us, specifically and individually. It had to come from an external source, because the whole point of giving us empathy as a tool to grow our minds was to overcome ego. And anything internally that redeems us adds to ego and takes away from empathy. Unless, like this, you try to take that understanding and use it to help other people. But if you're doing that from a place of ego, you are doing it for the likes, the shares, the followers. If you do it for the empathy, you are doing it to try and help somebody rearrange something in their minds. Which, upon reflection, I think is the point. If I am to help you grow your mind, if that is the goal, if that is the work we were put here to do, then ego must be fought against. Never eliminated, because to entirely eliminate ego is, I don't even know if it's possible. Certainly not possible for me at this point. Try as I might. So why then is this flawed individual, why am I trying to accomplish this in you? I don't know what memes you've been repeating. I don't know how you've been repeating them. I don't know how they affect new memes you're exposed to. Our minds have a tendency to grab onto something and store it in the back so that it can color everything that comes to us in the future. That is a mimetic process. The definition of meme, as Dawkins described it, was a unit of culture that is replicated. It's like the gene, and I have said it is our second discovered replicator, possibly our oldest replicator on this planet. The things we repeat inside our minds and allow it to color, or allow them to be colored, those are the memes. That is what the memes are. That is their definition. Why would I do this then? If I don't care about the likes, the shares, if I already have a good job that I can easily sustain myself on, I could just sit back and meditate until I am dust in the grave and never have to share any of this. Why then do it? Because I have a dream. I have a dream that can easily show how to restructure this world and how we do things in order to make it a place that is conducive to other people growing their consciousness. Right now, when I'm trying to tell you how to grow your mind, you have 50 million things that are distracting you at all times in this world. This world is not built for the growth of mind. The growth of mind is like an added benefit. If a mind grows that has a particular skill set that is successful for technology, business, advertising, whatever it is, those minds will thrive. This world is not built for the diversity of intelligence that exists inside us. So in order for me to actually build my dream, I have to set the stage so that people understand why it is that dream is important. One of the things I saw initially a few years ago when I started all this was the actual dream of how to make this world work. But to explain it, you don't even have the motivation to do it without this basic work. It has to start at the simplest, easiest to communicate level. I'm not a communicative person. I have spent my entire life protecting other people by isolating myself from them. Which is also, because the isolationist lifestyle is very selfish too. So when I say I was doing it as a protector, it's also selfish. And anybody that is like me that you may know, or maybe you are that person, this keeping ourselves away from other people, whether it's because you think you are evil or not, is selfish. We are put here to help our fellow men, to help our fellow humans, to help our neighbors, our loved ones, We are put here for that purpose, I think, in order to help them grow mind, is what I think. So if I have a protector's frame of mind, if I have a philosophical soul, then my best approach to living my best life is to help you understand your consciousness, understand your mind, and grow it as opposed to being driven. Which means I have to explain how it works, why it works, and what it is that's stopping us from actually having a society that is focused on growing it. We don't have a society like that because it's focused on survival. We as a species grew in this survival of the fittest way of growing. We've grown to this point in our culture. This is the point, and probably been there for a while now, probably, where we have enough data, enough understanding of the global situation to inspire the ways to build a better world, the technology to build a better world, the finance to build a better world. So why I do this is to make that dream one day possible. And the odds are, because that world is being built right now, and one of the talks I intend to do is based on that. I have some other ideas that are higher in the precedence, but if I don't live to see that world be created, that's fine. I personally believe mind before matter, that life is eternal. What I do for my mind here will affect what happens to my mind going forward. If you believe that life is eternal, that consciousness goes on after death, what is it you are struggling for in this life? What is it you are trying to accomplish? Because while you're distracting yourself, you are missing the growth of your consciousness. A lot of us are letting it be driven for us because that's very profitable for people who want money. It is how it is profitable. Understanding that making human beings driven, not fueled, that is the capitalist model. Well, it has been since advertisement. Anyways, advertisers may not understand how they're doing it, but they definitely understand the mimetic effects on mind. Anyways, I am trying to keep this short, so this is who I am. This is how I became what I am, and this is what I'm choosing to do with it. 23 minutes. That's not so bad. All right. Thank you.